guys, it's Nighthawk0973 here, and I'm actually just gonna do something I should have done before I started, but who cares. Welcome to my third Blitz programming tutorial. In this tutorial, we're gonna be learning about, what do I want to teach you? Variables. Alright, that's a good idea, variables. I was actually intending to teach variables, I just hadn't thought of it yet before I started. Anyways, we are going to be learning about variables. Now, if you don't know what variables are, how can I explain this? So, you have a variable, right? You have your variable name and your variable type. There are decimal number variables, whole number or integer variables, and there are strings, which is text, like hello world is a string, and it's usually enclosed around quotation marks. Alright, so what variables are absolutely essential to making games, and probably essential to almost any program in the whole wide world. And that's because variables are very helpful. Like if you're making an RPG, for example, so how are you going to figure out what the user's strength is and use all those formulas? Well, if you create a number variable for their strength, then you could name it strength, and you could use all these math formulas to change the value of strength. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to start learning about variables. So now that I've explained variables that I just did, we're going to actually start making some. And to do this, the first thing you need to do is you need to give your variable a type. You need to give your variable a privacy level. That's what I call it. So there are two different privacy levels. There's local, which means that only the function that it's created in can use it. In this case, the main code, the main body of the code. And I'll talk about functions later, so don't feel like you have to know what functions are. Functions are just a line of code that you can call at any time. We're going to go over more of that later. And then there's global. And global is probably what I use the most. Global, it means that everything can use it. Okay, everything inside your code can use it. So, let me just do something real quick. Alright, sorry about that. And what we're going to do is we're going to create some local variables. So the first thing we're going to create is a local variable, and now we need to name it. So I'm going to name this local variable, I'm going to name it integer. Okay, because this is going to be an integer variable. Now next we have to put a symbol in place, and this symbol is going to define the kind of variable that we're creating. So for integers, you need to use a %sign. Don't ask me why they do this, because I have no clue. Alright, now let's create another variable, and we're going to call it decimal, and we're going to add a number sign after it, and that makes it a decimal number. And lastly, we're going to create another one called string. We're going to add a $sign after it. There we go. And actually, the fact that there's a keyword right there is bad, because you can't use keywords for your function or variable names. So if it gets highlighted with syntax highlighting, you can't use it. Sorry. So I'm just gonna name it text. No, text is taken. I know text is taken for effect. String of text. There we go. So now we've created string of text, integer, and decimal. Ugh. So now there are different ways we can define these variables and give them a starting value. We can say integer equals 1, or decimal equals 2.5, or string of text equals hi. But what we can also do is we can go local string of text string equals what's up, buddy? And we can make this equal to 2.5, and we can make this equal to random number 89. Alright. So now we're going to use the print function to print variables on the screen. In this case, these variables. Let's type print integer, print decimal, and print string of text. Then we're going to delay this by a random number with a lot of zeros called 10 seconds. And we're going to end, and we're going to run this, and you guys are going to see what happens. So this is 89 for our integer, because we printed integer, and then it's going to say 2.5 because we printed decimal. It's going to say, oh crap, didn't delay long enough. Then it's going to say, oh, what's up, buddy? Alright, so that's it for this tutorial. It's kind of long, but who cares, as long as it's not 10 minutes, which probably is just my luck. But anyways, I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys check out my other tutorials at nighthawk0973.blogspot.com.